I never knew what abuse was. No child does when growing up love and pain were no different.
You grew up with a narcissistic parent. Here is something that you need to be made aware of.
The judge states that dad engaged in a course of conduct keeping mom and mom's family away from the child.
Hi, and welcome to the Anti-Alienation Project. My name is Maddie, and here I talk about all things related to parental alienation. I realized last year that I had been alienated from my dad for 20 years. Since then, I've been speaking out about this form of abuse on a healing journey and reconnecting with my dad. If you haven't heard of TikTok, I guess you've been living under a rock. Just kidding. But most kids are on TikTok these days. So I do have the Anti-Alienation Project as an account on TikTok. And today we're going to be reacting to some TikToks about narcissism, about parental alienation. It's good stuff. And I wanted to do this because this is what is being represented for parental alienation on TikTok. I also wanted to do this because I thought if I do a YouTube video about TikToks, maybe more young people will watch it and figure out about parental alienation. Anyway, buckle in because this one's about to get a little wild. Let's just get right into it. We're gonna start with a doozy, okay? I really respect and admire this girl. She's a disabled poet, and she's gonna be speaking this poem she wrote about her mom. It's not necessarily about parental alienation, but it definitely has to do with the estrangement that can come from having a really selfish and toxic parent.
I am a disabled poet with a stutter and tics, and though that means I'm already losing half my time, I never saw poets like me growing up, so I want to acknowledge that I refuse to mask this. I want to write a love poem to my mother, but I do not like her. She sewed me, bursting at the seams, just me like a doll stuffed with all her dreams. And though she met a man of many colors and many others, it seems she was still expecting a white baby. She hated how my eyes weren't buttons. I came out incorrectly. The stitches started slipping. She'd call me weak, and in 3 languages I never heard her speak, I love you. I was just desperate to avoid her shouts. I didn't care. My hair was falling out. My skin was peeling off. My nails weren't growing back. I'd failed you. Your perfect baby doll stuck like voodoo, just a punching bag through and through. You never talk about what happens in my goddamn house.
Whoa. I think she was channeling her mother there.
I never knew what abuse was. No child does when growing up love and pain were no different.
Yes. Can I just repeat that? Because I think so many people don't understand how children can't see what's happening to them when it's psychological abuse or parental alienation. You don't know that love and pain are any different. So how are you supposed to know what abuse was? This is such a powerful poem. Really, really, really admire this girl.
I love you, Ma, but you will never meet my children.
That's so painful. Look at her. She's about to have tears. It's the hardest thing in the world to love a parent and to know that to have a relationship with them is like self-harm for you. I don't think any child imagines that they will grow up one day and not have a parent, the relationship with a living parent, and that their kids won't have a relationship with a living grandparent because it's safer and healthier that way.
No child will feel abuse like little me. Thank you, Ma, for teaching me exactly who not to be. The pain of your words and fists will hit no baby ever again. There will be no sleeping on subway seats, going hungry with nothing to eat. When my babies to tell me who they are, I will treat them better than you ever treated me. They will be so much more than dolls.
Wow. This really hits home for me.
I'm ending it now. I love you even as I replay in my head, go kill yourself, go kill yourself. go kill yourself then, again and again.
She's brilliant. She's brilliant. I can't tell if she's doing her takes on, I can't tell if she's incorporated her dicks into the poetry or not, but this is brilliant. Her emotion is just so raw.
You, and I loved you when I took every pill, and when I wasn't killed, you blame me still. I woke up 2 days later in the ER, the doctors asking like I knew, how are you alive? That should have been enough to kill 3 of you. I'd started turning cold and blue, and what did you do? You refused to call an ambulance. Rather I die than the world know your lies, or the sickness from which I suffer that I still fucking love my goddamn mother. I know you hate this China doll, but I hope one day after all you will love me. Ma, mama, or ma, ima, I love you. Sarang he je t'aime, anio hevatach. You created me, and what you don't see is that you actually made me perfectly. This is a love poem, Ma, from your baby, unapologetically gay, trans, mixed, crazy. And I know you don't like it, but just signing off, I now go by B.
Really powerful, really powerful. I think that is awesome. That girl is awesome. What I hope that you can take away is that it is possible to love a parent so badly. You just want them to be able to take accountability and change and apologize. That's all you want. No child wants to lose their parent. Okay, this is Ben from the Trauma Corner. I really like him. A lot of what he says really resonates with me. He's on TikTok, once again, Ben at the Trauma Corner. This is a good message for anyone who still has a relationship with their narcissistic parent.
You grew up with a narcissistic parent. Here is something that you need to be made aware of. Throughout your life, and even now, when your narcissistic parent says something to you that hurts you, and they say it only to hurt you, understand that it's a reflection of them and their feelings about themselves and their own insecurities and nothing more. A narcissist has to bring you down so they feel better. So when a narcissist makes fun of your body, it's a reflection of them. When a narcissist says you will never amount to anything in your life, it is a reflection of them. When a narcissist says no one will love you if you do this, it's a reflection of them. You are not an extension of that parent, and you are your own person. And here's something that really helped me deal with the same thing, is expect it. When your narcissistic parent says something that would trigger you and hurt you, it triggers you and hurts you. But when you understand that that's who they are as a person, and they're not going to change because narcissists never do, when they say something that would normally trigger you and hurt you, you can smile and pause and think, I knew you'd say something like this. I knew this was how you would respond, because you are a narcissist and this is you. You are mentally 15 years old.
Oh yeah, that's funny, the 15 years old part. That's true. I think that's about the right age, I would say. Once you get to an emotional maturity level that's higher than your narcissistic parent, it's really hard to maintain that relationship. The roles are backwards. This is really sad. I mean, what he's describing here as the narcissistic parent is a bully. He's describing a bully. He's pretty much telling you, here's how you can maintain a relationship while keeping your mental sanity with your parent, who is a bully. This is why a lot of kids have to go no contact for I think a lot of people don't understand that they're the people who go no contact with their parent, unless they're alienated kids, they've been left no other choice in most cases. It's a matter of self-preservation. Their parent tries to hurt them on purpose and kind of gets off on it when they do manage to hurt them. It's exhausting to have to deal with a 15-year-old parent. That's the hard thing too, you can get to that point where you know that your parent is so emotionally immature and toxic, and you can get to the point maybe where that's all you expect and all you want from them, and then when they hurt you, that's all you can see. But like, it's hard to allow that into your life. That's going to affect you. If you have kids, that's going to affect your kids. So their behavior really does damage everyone in their wake. Let's check out this one. I have not seen this one. This guy is talking about narcissistic parents manipulating their child to reject their other parent. Sounds familiar. You know, just like my life. Okay, so let's check this guy out. He's Dr. Joe Court.
Parental alienation is the sadistic side of narcissism, one of them at least, where the parent who's the narcissist projects all of their bad behaviors onto the other parent.
Maybe that's why my mom always told me that my dad has narcissistic personality disorder. She was projecting that.
Convincing the child, a young child, it could even be a teen, that that parent is the bad parent and should stop seeing them, and can convince them. And the court systems are set up to, they don't acknowledge narcissism, they don't understand all of this. The narcissist looks really good in the courtroom, and they look like they're being reasonable, but outside of the courtroom they're not. It's what they're not doing and not saying, and they're giving information covertly to the child, sometimes overtly, that other parent is not good for them and doesn't have their best interests. So the sadistic narcissist stops the child from talking to the other parent and maybe even the other family, and everybody suffers except for the narcissism, who ends up feeding their own ego and gets what they want.
Well, I'd argue against his last point. Once the child learns the truth, that alienator, the narcissistic parent, borderline parent, they're going to suffer because that child is probably not going to want a relationship with them anymore. This should be a good one. I haven't seen this one yet. It says How to Distinguish Alienated Children from Abuse by the Other Parent. Let's check it out.
8 behaviors distinguish alienated children from abused children. These factors are present in alienated children, but not typically in abused children. Behavior 1, a campaign of denigration in the past, present, and future. First, the past. If you ask an alienated child to tell you about a good memory of a parent, the child will say, "I never had good times with that parent." The child will deny being happy in photographs with the parent. They erase the past. The present.
I struggle with that aspect because I was very close with my dad before the alienation. I was convinced that what I thought was us being close before the alienation, I was made to believe was just me falling for his fake facade. That's what my mom convinced me of.
Children are hostile, rejecting, provocative, arrogant, entitled, rude, and nasty in general. The future. If you ask, what could your parent do to fix this and make you happy?
I bet they say nothing.
The answer, nothing, never, can't happen. Behavior 2. Weak, frivolous, and absurd reasons for rejecting the alienated parent disproportionate to complaints. They just don't make sense. Behavior 3. Lack of ambivalence. One parent is seen as all good and the other is seen as all bad. There's no criticism at all of the favored parent.
Yeah, because it's the cult-like mentality, which I mention a lot. If you criticize the other parent, you're going down, sister. You can't criticize a cult leader, not at all. You can't even question them. Behavior
4. The lack of remorse for the shoddy treatment of a targeted parent, as if one parent gave the child permission to break the other parent's heart. It's brutal, painful, and heartbreaking, erasing the other parent completely as if they just don't care at all.
Oh, that's really sad. And the lack of remorse is true. It is true, but it doesn't mean it's coming from a place that the child really believes that to go with that parent, to have a relationship with their targeted parent, for me, that would have been, in my head, giving the stamp of approval on injustice. Because what I believed about him, I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was doing the just thing. Knowing the truth, I have an abundance of guilt and remorse. So I don't want parents to hear this aspect and think that that guilt and remorse would never be there if the kid knew the truth.
5. The independent thinker phenomenon. The alienated child goes out of the way to protect the involvement of the favored parent.
Yes, claiming it's their idea. Mom and dad had nothing to do with this. Yes, if you watched the video I just did about the texts and I analyzed alienated kids' text messages, you can see that one of those things was claiming it's their own idea. That was a thing that came up a lot. This is very, very accurate.
Behavior 6, the use of borrowed scenarios and speaking in language of the favored parent. The child has become brainwashed from the indoctrination by the favored parent and then believes the lies him or herself. The child thinks the ideas are their own, even though they don't know what they're saying. Behavior 7.
That's so sad. Their thoughts are being controlled. The thought patterns in their brain have been molded by the alienator.
Reflexive automatic support for the favored parent. The kids will take the favored parent side in every internal conflict. The favored parent is always right. Behavior 8. The spread of animosity to friends, family, and anyone related to the targeted parent. Anyone who has anything good to say about the targeted parent is cut off. Even abused children don't show these 8 behaviors.
That's a good point. Even abused children do not show these 8 behaviors. These are very important behaviors for people to realize. This is a very, very good TikTok. The one thing is that I don't think every single behavior needs to be present for the kid to be alienated. I didn't cut myself off from my extended family on my dad's side, and my brothers were not alienated from my dad. So I don't necessarily think all of these have to be 100% for each alienated kid.
Abused children still have positive memories of the abusive parent. They provide information of actual mistreatment. They don't start worshiping the other parent. They can still see the favored parent's faults. They don't generally lack remorse. They're just mad that the parent hurt them, but they still feel badly when they set appropriate limits with the abusive parent. They don't take the other parent's side in every argument just because they were abused. They don't cut off friends and family of the abusive parent. Research shows that abused children don't generally reject the abusive parent. The 8 common behavioral manifestations of alienated children make up 1 of 5 factors for establishing parental alienation. Watch the video about the 5-factor model for diagnosing parental alienation.
Oh, this was done by the Law Center, which is awesome. That's Larry DeMarco. I would recommend you subscribing and checking out his videos. He does a lot of little graphics like that. Really nice guy. Okay, let's keep going. I have not seen this one either, but it's talking about parental alienation. Let's check it out, guys.
Parental alienation is one of the things that's very real.
Yep.
You know, and for those of you that don't know what alienation is, it's basically when one parent makes an attempt to cut the affections, love, the relationship with that other parent. And alienation can happen through their spouse, through that other side of the family. Basically, they're making the other parent seem like a bad thing. So this child now only has them to rely on, which is a very dangerous thing, not only for the entire family, but for the child's mental health. Look at all these broken homes that don't have to be broken.
That's right.
And I'm not saying broken because they're divorced, because I don't believe you're a broken person because you're divorced or your parents aren't in the same house, but our parents are breaking us.
Oh, yes, girl, yes. Our parents are breaking us. When my parents told me they were getting divorced, I felt one emotion: relief. It was not the divorce that messed me up. It was my mom's continuous attempts and her obsessive need for me to reject my dad. It was the parental alienation that messed me up. Okay, 2 more. This is about emotionally immature parents, that 15-year-old parent that Ben was talking about earlier, that many of us have experienced.
When you're raised by emotionally immature parents, one of the things that's conveyed to you over and over again is how much of a burden it is to raise you, how much work it is, what a sacrifice it is.
Oh yeah, I've sacrificed everything for you. I've done everything for you, and this is how you treat me, and this is what I get. My whole life has been about my kids. All I focused on is on my kids. I gave everything to my kids. I have nothing left for me. This is very, very accurate, and I didn't ask to be born.
And over time, what that means is that you start to feel like you're a burden, like you're too much. And it really ends up injuring your self-esteem because you feel like you are never the right amount of anything for anybody. And that if anybody has to wait for you, pay attention to you, take care of you, or you take up just a little bit too much space, that you are that burden again. And that you don't have a right to do that to other people because they might hate you for it. They might not care about you. They might love you a little bit less. And that takes a really long time to heal from.
I feel like she just called me out. Wow. That explains a lot of the ways I act, I think, sometimes. I just want everybody to get along. I don't really think that I'm that much of a people pleaser because I will speak my mind. I'm not afraid of confrontation, but I don't want to be a burden on other people. I mean, nobody wants to be a burden on other people, but I have been made to believe that I was a burden on my mom for existing. Last one.
I am looking at a court order that has made my mouth drop. I just met with someone. They gave me permission to share, and I want to tell you a little bit about this case. So in this case, mom, who I was talking to, previously lost custody after a DUI, and dad was given sole custody, and dad was ordered to work with mom to give her parenting time, and he didn't for 3 years. For 3 years, he did not allow her to see her child, and she tried, and he refused. So she finally got together enough money to hire a lawyer and take him back to court for contempt and modification. It's important to note that mom has been sober for years, and that is no longer an issue. The crazy thing is, and the other thing you need to know is that these parents live in 2 different towns, so one of them has to be the primary residential parent. Well, this judge wrote one of the best orders I've ever seen in terms of analysis. The judge, analyzes all of the best interest factors, all of the factors having to do with alcohol, and the factors having to do with domestic violence. And here is where things get crazy. This order says, mother alleged that father has been engaging in parental alienation, whereby father has intentionally and willfully distanced the child from mother or tried to turn the child against mother. Since parental alienation is a form of domestic violence, the existence of such domestic violence is relevant, and then she goes into the analysis under the domestic violence statute.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow, that's awesome. I gotta hear more about this. We need more judges like that.
I have never, in all of my years practicing in Arizona or Oregon, actually seen a judge refer to parental alienation as domestic violence or child abuse. I've never seen it. The judge states that dad engaged in a course of conduct keeping mom and mom's family away from the child, that the dad engaged in a course of conduct attempting to exert control and invoke fear in mother by belittling her and calling her names, and then we have the names, which are not good. Bitch, loser, unfit, dumb, motherfucking ass. Father communicated for mother to fuck off. Father engaged in a course of conduct saying negative things about mom in front of the child. Engaged in a course of conduct that turned the child against mother by belittling mother. Father engaged in a course of conduct isolating and exerting control over the child by not allowing the child to attend public school and prohibiting the child from having contact with mother's family. Father said disparaging things in front of the child about mother, intentionally and willfully disregarded the court's order. The court finds that the combination of acts and the course of conduct over time demonstrate parental alienation.
Yes.
I am floored.
Awesome.
I'm floored. I've never seen this. I've never seen a judge take these things as seriously as this judge has in Arizona. And the other thing is that the dad is trying to appeal this case. So we may get case law on this, whether or not the behavior that this judge very specifically outlined can and is and does constitute domestic violence in the state of Arizona will be incredibly interesting. And as I get more information, I will pass it along, but I have watched this type of behavior wreak so much havoc on families. To see a judge call it what it is and hold somebody accountable for this type of behavior is something that I'm just beyond words about.
Me too. I'm really, really impressed by that judge. Her account is Modern Law Arizona, And it says during her video, Billy Tarascio, Arizona family law attorney. So I'm going to write her name down and reach out to her, because if they could make case law on parental alienation with this case, that would be fantastic. I'll add that to the list of people I need to email. By the way, if you've emailed me, please hang in there. I'm sorry if I haven't responded. I get so many messages, but I'll respond as soon as I can. That's the last TikTok I'm going to respond to. But guys, I used to, at the beginning of my account, I was really good about ending my videos on a note of hope. Somewhere along the way, I think I just forgot to do that. And I want to get back to doing that. And so I have the perfect video to share with you guys. There's a targeted mom, and I'll keep her name anonymous. She sent me this message on Instagram the other day, okay? And this has got to be one of my favorite videos, maybe ever, of all time. She says, through your tips, I've continued to drip love to my boys. Well, my family surprised me with a 40th birthday party last Saturday, and my aunt reached out to my oldest several times to ask him to come. She finally got him on the phone, and he agreed to come and bring my younger son with him, unbeknownst to me. They got on the video, and I asked her if I could share it, and she said, yes, please share. If it can give someone hope to someone else, I would love for you to share it. So here's that video, okay? Here's this woman. She hasn't seen her kids in a very long time, and here she is reuniting with her kids. I love this video, so I hope this gives you some hope. Got shiver bumps the whole time I was watching that video. Let me know in the comments what you think about this video. It's my first time really reacting to TikToks on YouTube, but if you guys like it, I would love to do more of this because I had fun making this video. That's all for this video. Please give the video a thumbs up to get it in the algorithm. The more people that like the video, the more people that will learn about parental alienation. If you like what I'm doing here, please subscribe. We also have a membership program where we do live chats the first Sunday night of every month, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Be on the lookout for our big launch of our website and our upcoming endeavors, ways to participate, volunteer, fundraise. I am so thankful for everybody in this community. Thank you for all the supportive messages, the help, the words of encouragement, and everything in between. I believe that it's really important for parental alienation to become a household term, that everybody can recognize it when it's happening. I'm just really happy that you joined me on this journey. I hope everybody has a good week, whatever day it is that I get this video published, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.